Assalamualaikum students, hope you are doing well. So the topic of our today video is CPU, Central Processing Unit. What? C stands for Central, P stands for Processing, U stands for Unit. Central Processing Unit. As humans have CNS, Central Nervous System, computer have CPU, Central Processing Unit. It is also known as brain of computer. What students? It is also known as brain of computer. CPU is also called as brain of computer. It also called as microprocessor, central processor, or processor. If someone said microprocessor, central processors, or if only processor, they are talking about CPU. Okay, don't get confused. CPU is also known as brain of computer or microprocessor, central processor, or only processor. Okay, it carries out all important functions. Okay students, it carries out all important functions of a computer. It receives instructions mean raw data. Raw data is input. I hope you understand. Okay, from both the hardware and active software. I told you in the last video what are instructions, hardware and software. If the concept of hardware and software are still not clear, watch my last video. I talk about hardware and software briefly. Okay, and process and produce output accordingly. As I told you in the last video, if you insert insert any input, it will provide output through CPU. Okay, central processing unit. Now let's move on to the basic term. Intel's 4004. What? Intel's 404 processor is the first processor. Now here processor is mean by central processing unit. Okay, don't get confused students. Microprocessor, central processor, processor, brain of computer is CPU. Okay, if someone said processor, microprocessor, central processor instead of CPU, so then don't get confused. Okay, Intel's 4004 processor is the first processor or CPU made in 1971. Okay, students, remember 1971. Now let's talk about work, how CPU works or components of CPU. Okay, there are three parts of CPU. What? There are three parts. Remember students, there are three parts of computer. First is arithmetic and logical unit, ALU. Arithmetic and logical unit. This means all arithmetic and logical processing is processed by CPU, ALU, arithmetic and logical unit. Number two is control unit, CU. What? Control unit. It controls all the processing in computer in CPU. Number three, memory, storage unit. Okay, memory. If you want a detailed video in memory topic, so comments below, I will provide it for you guys. Okay, now let's talk about how does these components of CPU work together to processing output, to produce output. Let's understand by a flow chart. Okay, here I have drawn a flow chart. Okay, first of all, if someone inputs, for example, you input something in the computer, for example 2 plus 5. Okay, so the result will be shown by, first input will be saved in memory. What kind of memory? There are two kinds of memory, RAM and ROM. But here in CPU we have RAM, random access memory. What students? Random access memory. It stores basically short term memory. Okay, it stores short term memory. Okay, first you input something, memory will store it. Okay, memory will store it and then process it. Okay, then the final result will be controlled by control unit, CU, and then again it will be stored in memory. And what kind of memory? RAM, random access memory. Students, remember there are two types of memory, RAM and ROM. But here in CPU we have RAM, random access memory. It stores short term files. Okay students, don't get confused. In CPU we have RAM, random access memory. Okay, so I hope you understand today's topic. Comment below. Thank you.